Hey guys, it's your main man Tian here. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Nah, it's so wanky. Or is it? Okay, anyway, so, I kind of want to, I start so many fucking YouTube channels these days and I never do anything with them, even my comedy one. But this one I feel like I might actually do, and this one, this YouTube channel, I want to dedicate it to just purely self-development. I had another channel called like Tian Talks where it's just kind of like self-development related, but I want to make this one more like direct to your face, like, hey, I'm gonna talk about something, and it's like no strings attached, like no trying to like make it PC, just like if it's fucked up, it's fucked up. I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna shoot it to you. So I'm gonna do the self-development channel, and the first topic I want to talk about is I was thinking about this last night, and it's, you know that saying where they say the universe is a reflection of you, or like what's out there is a reflection of what's inside here. And you know, I always hear that and I'm like, yeah, cool story, yeah, I'm sure it is cool, man, and I get that, but I never really did, I feel like, until the other day where I was just thinking about all the things that people annoy me about. You know, there's a person that was really irresponsible, there was a person that didn't give enough fucks that I felt like they should have given fucks, which I guess leads back to responsibility, and there was a person that just talks too much about themselves, and all these different traits that I have seen in people in my reality really annoyed me. And then I thought, it's like, if the universe is a reflection of myself, what are these people reflecting? And originally I thought, well, if there's a person that's always irresponsible and that's constantly being shown to me in my life, does that mean that I am irresponsible as a person? And I used to think that, and actually I think the opposite is true. I think the fact that someone's so irresponsible in my life is constantly keeps showing up is because I am too responsible, and that this irresponsibility is kind of like the recoil of my excess amounts of responsibility. So let me explain. You know, it's like if you fire, like if you throw a ball at a wall and you just like you throw it perfectly straight, then it'll just go back perfectly back to you, and then it's like it would seem like nothing happened because it's like a perfect perfect vector. If the wall is here, right, and it's like you shoot a ball at an angle, it will reflect back at the other angle and come back. Pew pew. If that makes sense. And I think that's actually how reflections work in the universe. So it's like, say on a spectrum of responsible and irresponsible, like you want to be in the middle, right? You want to be balanced. You don't want to be overly responsible to the point where you're just doing yourself harm and you're not actually helping anyone. And also you don't want to be irresponsible to the point where you're just being a selfish little child, right? And I think I was too much on this spectrum, so I would fire in this way, and then what gets reflected is someone equally irresponsible on the other side of the spectrum, and that's what gets shown to me. And I have noticed that recently, I have started taking way less responsibility on things I really don't need to take responsibility on. It's like and it comes from more like me listening to myself, like, do I really want to do this, versus like me in my head being like, oh no, you should do this because blah blah blah. And the more I listen to my heart and being like, okay, you do or you don't need to do this, and usually it's you don't, like, it's fine, man, just calm the fuck down, you don't need to do everything. The more I listen to that, the less energy I feel like it's depleted from me, and the more consistent, or the more content I am with myself. You know, it's like I'm proud of myself when I make decisions that in the past where I would have been overly responsible for, and now I just don't give as much of a fuck. I'll give you an example of the not giving a fuck. It's like when I message this person, like sometimes they wouldn't even acknowledge it, or like they would just leave it at seen. I'm like, okay, hey man, like it'd be good if you reply, if you just acknowledge it or something, or like it's like I'm always giving you so much, but then you give me nothing back. And I think that's too much in a person, and which really annoyed me. But then it made me realize that I may have been giving too much to people in the first place, and I should dial my level of giving to a point where it's more balanced and grounded for me, rather than overdoing it. So when people now message me, it's like, instead of overdoing my replies, I just reply to the point where it feels content for me. And I usually know when that contentment is by listening to my heart and my intuition. And it's like something you just know, I feel like. And as much as I can, I try and separate when my mind is trying to be overly responsible versus my heart when it's like, listen, you're good, you don't need to overdo it. And I think a lot of the times the responsibility kicks in because there's a fear that if I'm not responsible, I'll be seen as a shitty person or whatever. And I think it's all a defense of the ego rather than just living authentically, which is me. And if people want to think I'm irresponsible, then, you know, that's them to think, and that's my reflection to them. But I can only live to my own truth, and if I overdo it or underdo it, then I think something in the universe will reflect that, and I'll be presented with the counter to it. And then lastly, the example is a friend of mine who talks the fuck too much about herself to the point it's real fucking annoying. You know, you're having conversation and then somehow you're talking about something else, but then she just spins it and makes it about herself. I'm like, bitch, it's not about you. But anyways, what did that teach me? It's like the way she talks about herself is so confident and so grounded. It's like nothing can stop her from talking about herself. It's almost like she has such an audacity about talking to herself that I'm like, how can someone be so confident and talking about themselves so much, right? It's almost admirable to a point. And that's what I realized. It's like, holy fuck, this person is getting reflected into my life because I am not confident enough when I do talk about myself. I play this like humble character where I'm like, oh no, I should be humble and not, you know, toot my horn too much. But I think, again, it's on a spectrum of like humility and confidence. And I feel like I'm too humble and she may be too confident. I mean, equivalent to my level of humility. So if anything, I need to be a little bit more confident or a little bit cockier, a little bit more audacious or whatever. And when I talk about myself, I need to have the confidence and the groundedness to like let myself know that it's okay for me to do so. So yeah, like I give less fucks, I take less responsibility, and I talk about myself more. Which all sounds like terrible fucking traits, right? But I feel like it's like, well, I mean, to me it does anyway, and I think it's like, I know these traits are bad, that's why I think I overdid it on the other side of that spectrum to try and not engage in these traits. But the fact of the matter is I still overdid it, and it took me out of balance, and it's like, you always want to be at a balanced state. So whether you're too much this way or too much that way, you gotta do something to bring it back, and I feel like I was too much the other way, like the, I hope I don't offend anyone way, and I feel like I need to push it back to more like me and just authentically, confidently Tian. So yeah, next time if there's someone that annoys you or something that happens in your life, well, I don't know if this applies to anything, but let's just say if there's someone that annoys you or there's a trait about someone you don't really like, I think it's really good if you talk to yourself and be like, okay, what is this person reflecting about me that I can learn from? And when you start having that conversation with yourself, I feel like you start beginning the journey of becoming a more balanced person. And a balanced person, I feel like, are always the most powerful people. So yeah. Cool, I mean, I hope that was helpful. I'm gonna be making more of these videos where I just talk. Mostly inspired by this guy called Captain Sinbad, or Nikhil on YouTube. You know, he's talking about like no-fap and shit like that, and like mana, and like Oja Shakti, and Paramachorya, and like all that like cool esoteric shit I'm into. So if you're into that kind of shit as well, like self-development, like crazy magic shit or whatever like that, then this channel is going to be dedicated for that shit. Like all the fucking too fucked up shit that I'm too afraid to talk about on Facebook and Instagram, that I'm going to talk about that here. So yeah, if you enjoyed this and if you enjoyed those topics that I just mentioned, then stick around, maybe subscribe if you want. I'm not going to suck your dick for you to subscribe. Just subscribe if it feels correct to you. And yeah, I hope I see you in the next video. I'm going to be talking about eyesight, how I improve my eyesight through really fucked up means. Okay, not that fucked up, but okay, the first one's a little bit fucked up, and then the other ones are kind of cute, but you'll see. Alright, Tan signing out.